Hey everybody, we've got Skwerly on today. He's a very famous Twitch streamer of chess, one of the world's toughest games. And one beautiful thing about Skwerly is the way he engages people on his stream. What got you into chess? Where'd you get started with this wonderful game?
Well, like most of us, or many of us, I guess that Dad taught me. But I was 13 and 14 maybe, and into biking, skateboarding, and girls. So I didn't play. I didn't even know there was chess clubs in school. I might have gotten into it. I wish I did,
Wow.
because maybe I'd have a title by now. But you shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
So when you got started, were you like looking at chess books and stuff? Because you seem like you're very strong now. Like you must have been doing something to improve at the game, and I'm sure our viewers would like to know maybe some of the steps you took to get to where you're at. So what what kind of helped you get to where you're at
I
now?
didn't pick the game up back up until my 20s, when Battle Chess came out, and basically that was just me and a drunken friend wanting to see the pieces fight. So we didn't have too much strategy. And then I found a chess club, and I went and lost there for a year. And one of the candidate masters of the club asked me, if I had $30, I'd like to join the USCF, go to a tournament with him. It happened to be the LA Open. I said, "This is really cool." Tournament play is what turned me around. If you don't have experience with 6-hour bloodbath games, I don't know what to say to you. It is another world. So these games are really what you start sinking into the position, you eat it up, and now you know that game forever almost. And a couple of books here and there. For me, with the ADHD, videos work way better. Videos and watching streamers. That's really what improved me.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm similar. I definitely have to have that constant visual. I have to kind of do things to learn them, and seeing other people do stuff helps me out a lot too. I know as someone that loves playing chess, one of the things that used to happen to me is I'd be in a cafe playing chess alone, and people would be like, "Are you playing chess against yourself?" And I used to always try to explain to them, I'm like, "Okay, if you want to get better at tennis, you watch people play tennis. I'm trying to get better at chess, and I don't have a way because at the time we didn't have this wonderful Twitch service. So I was like, how do I get better
Right.
at chess? I'm going to play back through these master games." And by just playing through them slowly, I was just so just taken by the games, I guess. Was there a favorite player that you had that really inspired you as you were growing?
Yes, and still does to this day. Favorite by a long shot. Like Miles doesn't even compare. Alexander Alekhine, or correctly Ayokin, he's top notch in my book. Both his life and his chess. I'm enthralled by the guy.
Wow. Yeah, he was. I've got two of his books. There's like a My Life in Games. He's got the early like orange edition, and there's like a green one. I remember one of them that I have is in the older notation. My gosh, is that
And
hard to
that's
play?
what mine is too. And PQ4, and it's like, oh
Yes.
man, oh, this shit again.
It's all fun and games until the other side makes the same move. You know what I mean? It's like pawn to king knight
Yes.
four, and the other guy's like, pawn to queen knight four, and you're like, wait, what pawns are going to what knight for?
Or one of my worst with it is the queen's bishop. Okay, QB to a square, but after it changes sides of the board, it's like, well, which is the queen's bishop now? I don't even remember.
Yeah, and the knights are even worse that way. It's like, which knight is this? Like,
Well,
yeah,
and especially the knights are bad because in classic notation, aren't they K, which tells me king.
yeah, exactly.
It's really hard to get a hold of. I mean, I think I do it better today than when I started. But when I started, if I happened on an old book and it was in classical notation, right to the shelf, dude. I'm not messing
Yeah.
with that.
The worst for me is that I'd get like maybe like 50, 60 moves in, and I'd make the wrong move because like it's ambiguous as to whose move it was. So maybe I'd make a
Yeah,
double move for white or a double move for black, and all of a sudden the move that it's saying doesn't make sense, and I'm like, I don't even know which side's supposed to move right now. It was just bad.
yeah.
So thank heavens for the advent of computers and all this other technology we have now to help us play through them. But of course, on a physical board, I think is the best way to get ready for over the board. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. The 2D does not get you ready for battling another person that's 2 feet away from you. It does not get you ready for that.
So I've actually got your stream hooked up right now. I'm kind of watching you here. It looks like there's like a Tonka cam. Can you tell me a little about Tonka and like what I think maybe that's your dog, right? So we got a
Yeah.
commercial coming in. I got to resubscribe to you because I'm gonna go ahead and do this a sub right now. We'll do it on the
Does my channel play commercials in the middle?
yeah. It just put a commercial on right now during this interview with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and sub to you while it's playing, which would be kind of cool, I guess.
Oh, that's crazy
So,
because I have on the back end I have those turned off. I didn't want those, but maybe I guess Twitch just forces them. Maybe there's more when you enable it.
well, I guess people are going to see me subscribing to you live during the interview because I can't have this thing getting interrupted during the interview. So there we go. I'm now a subscriber again. And those of you out there that are enjoying his content, give him that sub. Don't just follow him, but give him that support for all the time he's putting in and the wonderful chess knowledge he's sharing with us. So
Aw.
great
And
guy.
I appreciate the sub, Jacob.
No problem, man.
Yeah, Tonka, he's a big old bulldog, somewhere between 130, 140 pounds. And every once in a while he'd show up, for pets, and the cam would catch his head, and people were like, wait, how tall is your desk? And I'm like, I don't know, 3 feet. And they're like, that dog, they start asking questions about the dog, and then it turned to, we're definitely going to need to see more dogs. So I thought, well, you know what? Joe Bruin, a really, really good chess streamer, he has a turtle cam, and photo chess, I think, has cat cams, and I thought, I'll get a dog cam. So by popular demand, I bought the exact same camera I'm looking at now, just hooked it up, and I follow him around, and people really like it. In fact, I've been asked to just turn me off and have talk on.
That's pretty harsh. Hey,
They're joking, but they really love the dog, man.
now I've watched some of your streams before, but one really cool thing I see going on over here that I'm sure the viewers want to know how you're doing it is you're actually adding arrows as you're playing. Is that I think I've done some of that before too, but do you want to tell maybe the key combinations or how you're doing some of that, or so they know how to maybe?
Yeah, well, I play exclusively on Lee chess, and if you're in a live game, you just right click and drag the arrow, and drag the mouse, and it'll make an arrow from the square you start from to the square you're going. And if you hit Control, I want to say that makes a red arrow, alternate makes a Alt key makes a blue arrow, and the Shift key makes some other color, yellow, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you only need the one arrow, the green stock one. And I like to use arrows a lot because it's a really good tool. And not to bash chess.com, but I love the arrows better on Lee Chess because they draw real time, so you can point around the board, and everything just seems lighter. But I love the arrows because people can visually see. Instead of you saying, okay, my next move is this, you can make a move, draw an arrow, and people are like, oh, with that in mind, and you don't have to say it in case your opponent's listening.
Right. No, it's really cool too, and I really enjoy how after almost every game that I've ever seen on your stream, you'll go back over the game and kind of talk about ideas and opening ideas and where maybe you thought your opponent went wrong or where maybe you had a different shot. That's really cool that you're taking extra time on your live stream to really help people understand the concepts, and another wonderful reason to follow you as well for those that are watching.
Thank you.
Um, what uh, what background do you have with like communication and stuff? I always enjoy talking with you and listening to you, and you have a really nice like friendly voice that really brings me in. Is it any schooling on communications or anything, or?
Well, I mean that's good to hear because I mean I pretty much just turn on the cam and go. But no schooling. I took one. We had to take a speech class for in college for the degree, and I didn't I didn't want public speaking at all. I not even a little bit. So I took what was it called? What was it called? I don't remember what the class name was, but it was a bunch of hippie crap. The teacher's big catchphrase was love is the answer, communication is the key. And I'm like, absolutely, I'm getting a speech credit for this. This is great. So zero, I'm just the life of the party guy. If I'm in a crowd of 3 or more people, I want them to be laughing. So I'm the guy that does it. That's just me.
Yeah, you seem really like outgoing and stuff. So there had to be maybe some part of that class where maybe a skit or something you enjoyed, or was it all kind of miserable to you? No.
The chicks were hot, man. We didn't have to do actually too much public speaking. We were just learning about communication, effective communication, but they crammed it in the speech category. I remember one time we had to get up with like our name and like what we wanted to do or something like on a sheet of paper, and it was taped to us. We had to meet everybody, and I thought, oh, but it was like one day in 18 weeks. The rest was a free ride. But yeah, literally no schooling whatsoever. I'm just kind of outgoing.
Wow, well, that's really cool, man. Because like when I first watched your stream, I was going through several other streamers too, just kind of clicking around. But yours is one where I just found myself just wanting to listen to you, and it was like you're mixing in
That's
like,
cool. That's cool.
hey, you're giving like background stories on yourself, and just talking about maybe you did some photography before. I think you mentioned. So um,
You know,
that was kind of cool. I
yeah,
remember,
I have a billion hobbies, and photography is one of them. You know,
do you have a favorite chess book to recommend if people are looking for maybe improving their own game at like a beginner level or like just getting started or
I've always liked the Everyman series. However, I think they might be a little, unless you just prefer books, because I think they might be a little outdated. Because now you can just go to YouTube and be like, "Hey, this opening," and you've got like 400, quick 15-minute lectures by titled players and otherwise that are just going to break that opening down for you, rather than
hmm,
spend $20 on a 45-page book that's it's going to take you weeks to get through, probably. Well, with me, right? Where the video lasts 45 minutes, and I go out and I know the opening, man. I'll play it, you know.
yeah.
So if I were to recommend a book, it's been argued that it's not for beginners, but I mean, I think one of the best chess books out there is My System by Aaron Nimzowitsch. He
Okay.
starts out with in the first two moves should be pawn moves for the amateur player, really meaning anybody who's not world class back then, because they didn't really have a whole lot of titles. And he said, control the center, put two pawns out in the open, get your ass castled, and get your pieces on good squares. But then he fast forwards a little to where you should have been playing for a couple of years before you can know what he's talking about. Well, he's one of the strongest grandmasters in the world at the time. But I believe that's the book I would recommend to anyone. It's just, even if it
Hmm.
takes you a lifetime to get through and understand, that it's an all-inclusive everything book.
That's really cool. Yeah, got a copy of that book I got recently. I had the old version, the old annotation. We talked about the challenges with that already, and I was really
Yep.
just struggling. As silly as this sounds, just making the right moves to follow
Right.
along. But now that I've got the algebraic one, it's a lot easier. I've gotten started, and yeah, I agree. It's kind of cool when a book is like that, where it's kind of meant for all levels, where you can start out with it and kind of grow as you go through the book. And then of course
Right.
there's other books that are like the Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual or things that are pretty intense where if you aren't really like a well-versed chess player, it can be quite overwhelming to walk into something like that.
Honestly, I have Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual. I'm barely, 2,000-ish rated on Lee chess, which doesn't transfer to over the board. Who knows over the board, but that's another story. Uh, and honestly, anybody weaker than me, I don't know what you're going to get out of that book. I mean, it starts out hitting hard, like it's deep stuff, and it's like reading the phone book. But 1,000 masters can't be wrong. You've got to at one point you've got to study the end game, and I'm trying.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, we definitely see you improving on your stream as well with like the quality of the games and the wins and stuff. You do a really good job. So
Thank you.
now on your stream too, people are watching this potentially on YouTube. So, and of course YouTube's like stale chat, like people can leave messages, but they aren't interacting with each other. But I can see on the
Right.
right of your screen that people are actually having a dialogue there. Now, who's able to talk on your stream?
Really, anybody in the channel that has not been previously banned for, being a jerk. So if you're
Okay.
in the channel, you can contribute to chat, and it's a without chat, I think the entire platform would be all but useless. Because, like you said, if I want to watch a grandmaster play chess or something or give lectures, YouTube's there. It's the live. He's doing this right now, and he might talk to me feeling that makes Twitch magic to me.
Yeah. Do you take a lot of viewer challenges as well then?
When I started out, the first, I want to say maybe 3 months, at least 2 months, it was just sign on and watch Skwerly play rando people, and people would comment on the games. We'd go over them in depth afterward. Now it's almost, I don't remember the last random challenge I took. It's all viewers now
Wow.
because it's like a chess club. It morphed until where people are like, hey, Skwerly's on. Let's go hang out and let's go play chess with him instead of let's go watch him, which I think is fantastic. I like that it accidentally went that way.
Yeah, and I noticed you bumped into some really cool people that I know as well, like Art Vega. I've seen him on your stream, and
I was going to mention Vega when we were talking about My System, but I didn't know how many streamers we wanted to plug. in this video. But yeah, Art Vega, can't say enough about him, and he also makes the non-mistake of being very, very, very mindful of chat. You can't expect Nakamura to do it. I think I looked earlier today and he had 23,000 in his chat. 23,000.
Really?
He's not reading chat a whole lot. Chat was out of control. It's because it's Title Tuesday.
Wow.
23,000 people, and it was scrolling by. I mean, you'd have to be a superhuman to read a third of the comments. It's useless, right? I don't want that. So Art Vega, me, probably yourself, we actually relish in being smaller streamers because our community means something to us, and we want to mean something to them rather than just, hey, I'm the star, look at me. So the engaging part of it really is 90% of it for me. I love it.
You want to know something kind of funny?
Huh.
I just subscribed to you, right? We saw me sub to you earlier, and
Yeah.
and a Best Buy commercial just came up.
Dude, no one in the world has ever said they've seen a commercial on my stream. I've never even heard of that. I have them turned off the back end.
I thought
That's so funny.
I thought I did the same, but it's so
Oh,
bizarre.
I know why. I know why. Because you're on a VOD, right?
VOD, possibly. I'm not sure what a VOD is. Kind of embarrassing to
Well,
admit that.
you're watching a past stream, right? Because I'm not streaming.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is.
So Twitch is putting them on there. Live
Okay.
that doesn't happen. I get it. Oh, duh. I'm thinking, oh, you're saying channel. Okay.
I was over
Yeah,
here.
so Twitch is just making you do that because you're watching a past video.
Okay, and as you know, many of us, I've watched some past videos, but it's pretty rare. Usually I'm watching you guys live. The interaction, the joy of that is just so much better for
It's
me.
rare for me too. Exactly. Without that live feel, it's basically YouTube. And if something really cool happens, I've watched past videos before of some of my favorite streamers, and something really bitchin' happened, and I'm like, the night I have to be somewhere, I really would have liked to be there for that. That would have been so cool. So I kind of don't watch the past ones anymore.
I'm actually really liking the way this looks and stuff. Would you ever want to maybe try to do a stream together of like an arena or some kind of event that we host together? Would you have interest in that, or?
Yeah, very much so. In fact, Art Vega and I talked about doing it. It's just the logistics of it all. With me being a new, or at least relatively new streamer, I'm lucky to get OBS to work at all. I wouldn't know how to set one up, but we have a lot of the same viewers, and and the few viewers that aren't the same would probably like each other's stream anyway. So with us combining, I think it would really build viewership and give our viewers, our loyal ones, another option. Like, oh wow, okay, Skwerly likes this guy, then I'm gonna give him a shot, or vice versa.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I'd love that. That'd be great. And I think we both have teams on Leech Us. You have a team, right, on Leech Us as well. So.
Yeah, my team is guised in the language of fan club, but it's really just a team. So yeah, I have like a little club team thing. Yeah, and I think a team battle would be great. The tunas versus the streets, and I mean, it's just fun. We don't have to mention who's board one or only the strongest. I don't care what rating you are. Let's go have fun. Let's go battle each other, because it's all going to average out anyway. You know?
That's such a great idea. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I think, gosh, who was it? Golden Bear. Golden Bear the other day was kind of reaching out, asking me to play against you and stuff. And
it was Golden Bear, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of wonderful to have this opportunity with you to do this interview where I can ask you that question in a more, just one-on-one experience. So it's not like me trying to take away from your viewership. Or there's always a bit of that toe-stepping thing that happens if you go on someone else's stream and you're like, hey, man, come on my stream, And so this seems like a lot better way to go.
For me, if I see that someone that I really like and respect, like you or Vega or Mark Esserman or a couple others, that they're streaming, I will wait. I've waited before and streamed later than I wanted to, because I don't, I know a lot of our viewers are the same, and there's a chance that if I go on, people will be like, oh, Skwerly's on, cool, let's say hi.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I don't like to step on toes like that. That's not why I'm here. And that's what I feel, because Golden Bear was basically saying, I don't think he used the exact words, but he was alluding to, I like you and I like Tuna, but you guys oftentimes stream together, and I don't know what to do. If we combine streams, basically, I showed up on yours or you mine, every once in a while, that would really, really fill in a gap that I think a lot of viewers are looking for and wanting, even if they don't voice it.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. But you're right. That and there's always the challenge too with ratings. So you start making a lot of friends, and I reference some of the other streamers on my channel a lot of times. And what'll happen is like you'll be on, Vega will be on, Chess Coach Net's on, and I'm like, I don't know where to send people. Like I don't. This is too hard. I don't know where to go. um, because
Last night I couldn't decide, so I sent it to a piano player. Just here, have my chess players, baby. You're doing a good job, you know.
well, the piano man, that's awesome. Well, hey, I'll look for you in the future, and let's try to set that up soon. That'd be great to maybe do a different type of stream together.
Yeah.
I enjoyed learning a little bit more about you, and it might be interesting to maybe have you on the show again and ask some questions. And I'll give you a link to this on YouTube as well if you want to check it out.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is great. This seems like a really neat thing that we're starting here, and maybe getting like Twitch Fish involved, Vega, some other people that we have hung out with in the past. We can end up with some really,
absolutely.
really amazing content, I think, and just kind of do things a little bit differently than we've done in the past. And I'm very happy
Well,
to be.
it also, in my mind, it really squashes any misnomers that people might have about streams that are at or around the same size. Any competition. No, here we are, two streamers wanting to combine, you know what I mean, and work together instead, and build and bring in all the other good streamers that are smaller, meaning, we don't average 200 people on a stream.
Yeah.
And that's going to put aside anything, saying like, well, I wonder if, Skwerly really likes this guy, or but he's not going to say nothing bad about him on cam, but does he really like, if I have you on my show, I absolutely like you, or vice versa. I'm not showing up on someone's show just for airtime. If I don't like you, I got to do my hair that day.
Exactly. That's very true. Yeah. And one thing I like
Well, yeah,
about
thanks for having me, man.
yeah, no problem. And I like all of our streams too that we mentioned because they are smaller. And what that means, if a viewer comes in the channel, the chat's not flying off the screen so fast that you can't really meet the person. So one great thing about both of our streams is people can really get to know us.
Right, and know each other in the process, because on a stream full of of 1,000 or more people, I'm less inclined to talk because two reasons. Number one, I'm just a name nobody knows, could be a troll, and number two, whatever you say is off the screen in a second or less sometimes. Like, why am I going to bother talking? But in a
Yeah.
slower stream, some of the wallflowers might come out and be like, hey, even if they just come out and say, hey, I'm here a lot, but I don't say much. Why don't you know that? They're not going to say that on a bigger stream because it's not going to matter to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of weird to admit this, but I'll go like on a Grandmaster stream sometimes and I'll hit follow and like there's no animation, there's no acknowledgement. And I'm just like,
And,
what?
and that makes me a little salty.
I'm like, what just happened?
Sorry.
Like, I'm
Yep.
I'm coming here. You're a very special person. You're Grandmaster, but maybe you could at least say, thank you. This is just a sentence. Thank you for following. It's like I don't, and it makes me feel very put off. I'm like, this guy doesn't. He's there for chess, which is great, but it'd be nice if he was at least maybe a little more there for me. And so like I said, the small
Right.
ones are special, but as you get big, it is a challenge. I mean, I don't know how they deal with the ever growing subscriptions and bits, and so maybe it
I
just
don't either. I mean, by the time I think you get to be, huge streamer, of course you can. I mean, let's face it, you got a team of people, you got some engineers to fix your stream up, you've got mods that are kicking booty and all that kind of stuff. But still, it doesn't take away from the fact that, like you said, the Grandmaster's not there for the audience. They're there, to get paid. They have no reason to air their chest other than for attention and getting paid. And
yeah.
I get that on one level, but I'm also glad that it makes me glad I'm not some big shot Grandmaster, because I like the community down here where we are.
Right, and part of it for me might be this whole virus thing too, being stuck inside. Even this conversation with you just feels so refreshing. I've been without people for a long time, so the streaming and also this interview makes me feel really good and get that human interaction I'm missing so much. So,
Right. I mean, chat's one thing, but hearing a voice is like, wow, this is really cool.
right. Well, thank you so much for being on my stream. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, and I'll look for you soon to do some kind of event with you. We can coordinate
Right
that,
on.
yeah, probably in whispers or something, so we're not interrupting each other's streams. We'll get that done soon, and can't wait to see you, buddy. So,
Right on.
you take care, and thank you so much for being on the show. So, hopefully, maybe I can do more interviews as well. This has been
Yeah,
really
thanks
fun.
for having me.
Yeah, you take care and have a great day, Squirrely.
For sure. And
Bye from
you
all
too,
of-
buddy.
I hope to be back in those streets soon. You take care, man. Bye.
Those streets. Later on, man.